Good afternoon, I am Lisa Denton and this is my Unit 7 assignment. What if I told you that there was an invisible force that is steering our choices, shaping our opinions, and influencing our actions, often against our own will? And that invisible force is unconscious bias. Unconscious bias is our psychological book of rules. And this book of rules is formed by our upbringing, by our parents, our family members, our friends, our education. And we use these experiences to fill in the blanks about people. And stereotyping is often a powerful consequence from leaving our biases unchecked. So the real question isn't, do we have unconscious bias? It's what are we going to do about it? So the problem is that humans form opinions within 7 seconds of meeting one another. And it's completely superficial. It's based on your facial expression, your hair, your clothing, your body posture. And none of it is factual or based on who you are as a person. There's no merit behind it. So the impact, unconscious bias impacts everybody, regardless of age, background, race, education level, it doesn't matter. It influences hiring decisions, promotions, classroom dynamics, healthcare outcomes, policing, and even who you choose to sit beside on a public bus. And for example, studies show that people with ethnic sounding names get fewer callbacks than people with traditionally white sounding names, even if their resume is exactly the same. Okay, so next we're gonna have an activity. I'm gonna pull up a photo of somebody and I want you to think to yourself your initial feelings, thoughts, judgments, reactions, and I'm going to say mine out loud. Okay, so this is a big white male. He looks very angry, unapproachable. He has some tattoos on his arms. They don't look very good, so probably jail tat, so he's probably been to jail before. And over here on the sign, it says Crips, so maybe he's in a gang or affiliated with a gang. If I saw him in an alley, I would turn around and walk the other way. I would not want to be anywhere near this man. Okay, ready for the big reveal? That big scary man is U.S. Senator John Fetterman, the Senator of Pennsylvania. And what we were just exposed to was diagnosis bias. It's where I labeled someone based off my initial opinion. And this man, he has his master's degree from Harvard, okay? He received international attention for his economic revitalization program that he started in his community. Okay, story time about how unconscious bias affected me. So I'm active duty Air Force and my first deployment was to Dominican Republic. So we were building 3 clinics and 2 schools there. And about 3 days prior to us leaving, I asked my leadership where I was going to be assigned to. Was it going to be a clinic, a school? What was I going to do? And they said that I was being assigned to the U.S. Embassy. And I thought, oh wow, that's really great. That's really prestigious job, right? And I asked specifically what I was going to be doing. And they said I was going to be a translator to translate English or Spanish to English. And that's when I realized that I had fell victim to unconscious bias. They tasked me with an official deployment to the Dominican Republic based off of how I look, my complexion, my dark hair, and the clothing I was wearing. And this is my uniform. And back then, my last name was Miranda, a very Hispanic sounding name because I inherited that name from my Puerto Rican husband at the time. So that's how unconscious bias has affected me. Okay, so now that we've identified the problem and we see how it shows up in real life, what can we do about it? So there are 4 proven strategies from experts to fight unconscious bias. So first is self-awareness. So just recognizing that, hey, we all have unconscious bias, because if we don't recognize it, we're not going to be able to change it. Next is exposure. So spend time with people from different backgrounds. Listen to diverse voices. Third, slow down. Take time before making decisions, especially in hiring or assessments. And last but not least is practice empathy. We all come from different walks of life. Just put yourself in that person's shoes. So the benefits, everyone's going to benefit when we reduce unconscious bias, from individuals, organizations, and entire communities. It's going to lead to fairer hiring practices, more inclusive workplaces, stronger friendships, and a world where we're not living in those outdated stereotypes. So my final statements to you is to challenge you, right? It's not whether we have it, but what are we going to do about it? And face it, we all have it. To have bias is to be human. We're going to own it, we're going to consider those impacts, and we're going to take accountability, and we're going to shift our behavior in a meaningful way. And the result, a more fair, inclusive, and understanding world, one thought at a time. Okay, so today we went over the definition of unconscious bias, the problem that it creates, the impacts that it has. We did an eye-opening activity. I shared a personal story, and we went over the 4 powerful strategies to implement to fight our unconscious biases, and we also went over the benefits of it. Any questions?